This is Hot Mike. Hot Mike. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Hour 2 of Hot Mike, ready to rock and roll here on this Tuesday morning. Tim Bergstrasser, MSUM Dragons head coach, will join us in about a half hour. Dragons snapped their losing skid at a big-time weekend. Got one of their main dudes back. We'll chat about that coming up in about a half hour. Yeah, I know football season for the college officially wrapped, but as we know, it never really ends. The high school recruiting season never ends either. And for those of us to keep tabs on, especially in North Dakota and Minnesota, there's a few names to keep your ears peeled for, eyes peeled for. One of them is our next guest because he may be the next big thing in North Dakota high school football. Out of Castleton, North Dakota, Central Cass High School, Aiden Wunderlich is his name, and he joins us on the show this morning, who received an offer from the University of Montana last week that goes on top of a previous offer he had from the University of North Dakota. University of Minnesota was in the hallways, I believe, last week. So when I say that, has life blown up over the last couple of weeks?
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's, I'm getting messages. I love hearing from all these coaches, hearing about all these schools, just trying to figure out where I want to go. I love it. I love the process.
All right, so give us the backstory on when college football became, hey, this might happen. This is going to be a reality. Is there a time, a practice, an interaction that stands out?
I'll give you a story. So my freshman year, I wasn't anything special. I was a JV player. I wasn't very big. I was about 190 pounds. And so I had a conversation with my coach at the end of the season. I told him, because I had seen guys that were doing all that, blowing up, playing for these big schools. And I told him I wanted to do that. And, I was a 190-pound freshman, playing tackle. So I don't know what he thought of that. But so he told me everything I could do. And, it was fun working at it, did everything he said. And, that sophomore year came around, kind of started playing way better. I'd put on about 80 pounds. And so, yeah, then it's about sophomore year when I knew I needed to work for it, and then I could make it a reality.
Okay, did you have a growth spurt as well? Because you're at 6'6", 270. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Holy cow!
Yeah. So I've always been tall.
Okay.
I've been really tall. So I was about 6'4" as a freshman, but yeah, I grew a little bit.
Okay, so the 70 pounds. What are we eating? How did that come about? What are you eating to get 70 pounds on?
A lot. I don't know. I like pasta. That's one of my favorite meals. Chicken and rice, all that type of stuff. A lot of carbs, a lot of protein.
So the physical transformation happens on the field. How did you notice your game transforming when your body did?
I was pretty weak as a freshman. So comparing freshman year to sophomore year, I could tell I was way stronger. And then sophomore to junior year, the change I realized was I'd gotten way more, I'd grown into my body more. I was able to move way better than I was sophomore year. So it's been really fun just being able to transform each year like that.
When you started first then getting Division I interest, what went through your mind?
It's always been a dream, I feel like that's every kid's dream, play at the highest level they can. So it's a great feeling, it's awesome.
To have now a couple offers, we were just joking off air. Your phone is starting to blow up. Now interest is really there. What is this like on a day-to-day basis now?
It feels like an everyday thing. Recruiting's a 24/7 thing. Football season's about 3 months long, but not really. It's all year. It's hearing from these coaches, doing workouts. But I love it. I love it.
What has been, you mentioned it's fun. What's been the thing that stood out to you? And is it constant? Like, are you checking your phone, you're in class and then you got a message? Can you give us the lowdown on that?
Yeah. Kind of a funny story. You'd mentioned Minnesota last week coming by. So I had to never use this excuse before, but I had to tell my chemistry teacher, hey, you mind if I miss a few minutes of class, I got to go do a workout for University of Minnesota. But yeah, so that's always fun, and it's always exciting hearing from a new school and just staying in contact with coaches that I have heard from.
Okay, so is that like the ultimate like humble brag for all your buddies then? Do you have like, hey, I got to get out of class because, University of Minnesota's here?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to use it as bragging, but all my buddies kind of take it that way sometimes. They
I
kind
can
of joke
imagine.
yeah.
We're watching a little bit of your highlight reel here, man. You're just pancaking guys. What is that feeling like as an offensive lineman? You're out there and you have the ability to physically move somebody.
I mean, you can't replicate it. It's awesome. That's just going and watching it on the iPad on the sidelines with my O-line coach after. That's always a great feeling.
You mentioned the Gophers were there last week. So did you have a heads up on that? Was that a surprise? And what was that moment like knowing they were coming to see you?
I heard a couple days prior they had reached out and then they'd talked to my coach. So I knew a couple days in advance kind of they're gonna have me do some of these drills but it's fun. I love doing those workouts, and so yeah, it's just I love those workouts. There's nothing like it, and I mean, Minnesota, that's a Big Ten school. That'd be really cool. That's a cool school. I like their school, but see where I can narrow it down to.
It's a different deal. Like with the University of Minnesota, like a Big Ten school is coming in. What was that even moment like for? Just say, okay, this is really real now. If they're coming up here and they want to see me and have me work out.
Yeah, I mean, I want to find the best fit for me. So wherever that ends up being, I like their school. I like their coaches. See how that relationship continues to grow. But yeah, I mean, like you said, yeah, it's getting real. I love it. For sure. It's awesome.
Okay, so what did they have you do? You're in the middle of so do you have to change? Like, do you have to change? Like, what did they have you do?
Yeah, I'll head to the locker room. We always go in the gym, so I put on my basketball shoes, and so they had me do like a 5-10-5 shuttle, just some O-line specific drills. We did triple broad jump, just all that type of similar to like camps in the summer type of stuff.
How did it go?
I actually thought I was moving best I have. I never played basketball growing up, but I did. I decided to join basketball this year, and I can tell it's for sure helping with these workouts, just footwork and overall at my athletic ability. I can tell it's really helping. So
did you get some positive feedback out of it?
Yeah, for sure. From what I heard, they want to continue the relationship. So I'll head down there for a visit this spring and see how that goes.
You mentioned you're doing hoops. I know you do track as well. Tell me how those sports help you. You mentioned now agility-wise with basketball. How about track? How does that help with football?
It's similar. I do the spin for shot and disc. So, just getting the steps right. That was I had trouble with that my sophomore year. So towards the end of sophomore year, I was able to get it down and get some big PRs. And, that really helps just kind of with body control, all that, just knowing where your body is, using your body in the right way. I think it really helps.
Aiden Wunderlich joining us from Central Cass. A couple of offers from D1 schools. Gophers are poking around. I know the Bison are as well, because I have Bison fans asking me all the time, well, are they talking to the guy from Central Cass? So I'll ask you, have you heard from NDSU?
Yep. Yeah. Coach Polisek, he came and watched a workout just last week. And then, so yeah, I really like him. I'm a big fan. I got a visit lined up for this Saturday, a junior day visit. So, but yeah, I'm really high on them. They're one of my top schools as well.
So with this all, do you have a timeline? I know the spring's gonna be big. Obviously, you're gonna go on some visits. I know some guys want to have it done before fall camp, before the season starts. Have you had that mapped out yet, or is that still to come?
Not really. I'm kind of just I'll commit somewhere when I feel ready. When I've built all the relationships I want to build, and I don't have a set date or set time frame when I want to do that or anything though.
Okay, now to the fun stuff. We can talk about your rivalry with Kindred. Playing against those guys, though, how much has that made you better? Knowing they've got a couple of Division I guys on their roster.
I love playing against them. They're a really good team, but playing against Luke Starcevic, he's got some big
Yeah.
offers. Playing against him makes me better. If you watch that first Kindred game compared to the second game, I feel like I played much better, and I think a lot of credit goes to playing against them the first time. I think that really helps out, just playing against such good competition like that.
And he's a year younger than you. So what
Yep.
is that like going up against a guy knowing, okay, there's college teams interested in him, and now there's some interest in me as well?
That's just what I want. I want to play against the best competition I can. Um, him getting attention. I love it. I want everyone from North Dakota to get attention. But yeah, I mean, I think it makes me better going against him. Hopefully gets him better going against me. But yeah.
Aiden, you've seen it here the last couple of years. With Riley Sunram, we did, and I know it's a Kindred guy, so I don't want you don't have to talk too nicely about him. But to see now there are high major schools going to Castleton, going to Kindred. What does that do for just the level of football? Because everyone talks about, well, Fargo and Bismarck and Minot have got all the top players. That's not the case.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I heard it from my coach really well. It's not like comparing Class B, Class A, Double A, all that. It's not all the top guys that are the difference. It's all those role players. So I don't think it's like the best guys are at those Fargo. I mean, that may be the case sometimes, but it's not always that way. I think there's those hidden gems in small towns, or just all those type of guys, just that homegrown talent.
Two last things before I get you back to history class. I don't want to get you in trouble. Now, next year, you're stepping up. You're going to be playing in a higher class along with Kindred. What's the excitement level in Castleton about that?
I'm excited for it. Just like I said earlier, I want to play against the best competition possible. I think that'll make our team better playing in that conference. So I mean, we're ready. We're all juiced about it. We want to play all those higher up teams.
I think you know this. The Coach Lamar is a diehard Jets fan. Do you give him a hard time about that? I'm a Jets fan as well, unfortunately. How much do you guys give him a hard time about that?
We definitely make fun of him during football season for it.
Like what? What do you say?
Nothing in specific. Just you gotta give people a hard time when their team loses.
There, the bell's sounding and he's got to go. Thanks so much for doing this, bud. I know life's going to get crazy. Thanks for the time. Good luck, and we'll talk again soon, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Aiden Wunderlich joining us from Central Cass, a junior now. He'll be a senior next season, and I don't think it's off the realm of possibility. He's probably the top high school football player for the class of 2026. Again, I'll give you weight, height, 6'6", 270. You heard him say he gained 70 pounds over the last couple of years. Honorable mention, all-state pick, and you saw his highlight reel out there. He's pancaking guys. And you mentioned the interest he's got. University of Minnesota was there last week for a workout. North Dakota State was. He's got 2 offers already in the back pocket and more to come. That's the timeline we're on, because I believe February 1, then official contact can really start. And don't even get me started on trying to decipher official, unofficial, and all that, because it will take 2 days worth of shows to try and decipher all of it. But just know that he is out there. He mentioned Luke Starcevic, who is the Kindred standout, who just wrapped up his sophomore year. He also has a couple of offers. Iowa State offered him after his freshman year. I know the Bison just offered him as well. So we should probably be used to this old hat for us around here that cover high school football recruiting in the state of North Dakota after what we went through with Riley Sunram a couple years ago, and seeing the 30-plus schools that were interested in him, from Miami to Washington to obviously University of Minnesota where he ended up. But it's still I think it's still a big deal when Big Ten schools are walking around high schools in the state. Maybe it's not as big as it was a couple years ago. To me, it's still pretty darn cool. And we thank Aiden for his time this morning. Name we're going to be keeping an eye on here over the next couple months. We'll break. We come back. Got a few emails to catch up on, a couple other topics I want to hit that we haven't yet on the show. Back on Hot Mic on this Tuesday morning, right after this.